The context of this assessment was to create two EPUBs, one which is fully text-based and reflowable, whereas the other one is a fixed layout. Both publications need to be sold for public distribution. Any features added needed to be able to enhance the experience for the user and therefore not be pointless or harmful to the content in any way. By selling this product on somewhere like iBooks, it was also important to ensure there was no copyright infringement of both the text and imagery. My first insight I want to discuss is, as such a vital part of the brief was being able to publish a product somewhere, it meant looking into and abiding by intellectual property laws and ensuring text wasn't covered under copyright. In creating the fixed layout publication, I struggled with understanding the laws surrounding recipes, particularly as you always share recipes with friends and family. So, according to the Australian Copyright Council, blanket rule surrounding this is it is not an infringement of copyright to watch someone prepare a dish and write down the ingredients and methods in your own words. This meant that if you reinterpret a recipe and change the literary expressions, you are, in a way, able to call it your own unless everything else is basically identical. It is a good moral practice to reference where you have had influence. Although the cocktail recipes I found were clear of copyright, as under the Australian law, copyright will have expired if the work was published prior to 1955 and the creator died before 1955. I applied this insight by adjusting some of the recipes by changing ingredients and direction details to almost create my own. The next insight I would like to discuss is publishing. So for me, this was my first time ever attempting to publish a product somewhere like iBooks. Like a lot of other people, I had some issues. Looking up tutorials on the internet didn't aid me as well as I would have liked. I was constantly bombarded with needing to use iBooks Author to upload my books. At first, I did attempt this path, however, I found when I originally uploaded my reflowable EPUB, it wasn't actually reflowable. However, by uploading it through the iBooks Author process, I discovered how to actually publish it. Using iTunes Producer, I was able to successfully upload both books. Although I did have some small issues getting the book submitted. Through troubleshooting these issues, I found it came from when I exported the file from InDesign, and it was all to do with the cover size. So changing a few things, I was able to fix it. Publishing these books, although small, will help to build an online presence, which is important in the industry we are working towards, as having a strong online presence is a crucial component of marketing strategy. And for us, the marketing strategy is ourselves. The next insight I want to cover is surrounding interactivity and design. In making the recipe book, I thought it was difficult to involve too much interactivity, as most of the time when you're making something, you just want the information there rather than needing to search for it through different animations, etc. Although simple, I did continue to learn more about interactivity, particularly with InDesign. I learned more about being able to use multi-state options and animations when changing pages. This I will continue to use in the future. In designing, in particular the fixed layout, I took a minimalistic approach by ensuring the images weren't overly complex and the text wasn't too decorative. Colour was a main element, as it helps to add an element of fun to the whole piece, which I thought was important as I was creating a cocktail recipe book. In the future, I do intend to continue to use some of the skills I've learned within this project. This involves interactivity in presentations and EPUBs, as it helps to create a far more immersive experience for the user. I've also learned not to go overboard with the interactivity, as it may even just remove the user from the experience. This continues along the less is more theory of using higher quality materials and effects to stand out by itself, and you don't need to add extra when you don't need to.